So over the past year, Megaforce has been out, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Not the whole show about like plots and stuff, but literally what I think the show has done and how it's kind of bad over the series. Not just normal, but you're looking at pretty much everything since Saban has taken over. So let's jump straight into the video. Now, the editing skills is completely different. I've noticed over a few times that the editing has not been the greatest, or they don't know what to do. And I don't know if this is literally the cameramen or the people on set that aren't paying attention properly, or the fact is that they're not too sure on what's going on. Now, continuity wise, I saw a few things over the past few weeks, and I have to say, guys, I know this is, as people say, a kid show, but this is also something that you want to be paid for, and you want it to soar higher than before. And you kind of really want something that people stand out. Remember 1993 when the whole hype, everything came out. It was amazing. The editing, when I look back, wasn't or is a lot better than what it was today. And the thing is, when I've noticed these sort of things, this is what makes me kind of angry as a fan as well as an editor. To me, this is kind of really it makes me sad, shall we say? It makes me want to cry, because I know that the show could be 10 times better, and all the different points I'm going to list out is something that I have thought as a fan myself. I don't know if this is through to anyone else, but hopefully, if so, they can leave the comments down below and say if I've missed anything or if I'm right or wrong. When I was watching some of the episodes, I've mentioned possibly previously about the Blue Ranger and his weapons, and how he runs off on one episode and he defeats this big box thing with all these people in and restores them back to life and all back to their human forms, and then it goes back to them blowing up the monster, and then that's it. There's no part to that. So again, that is kind of sloppy editing. Now, one thing I saw the other day was there's an episode where they are doing something about a train, and then they have to turn around and they have to save it, and Metal Alice puts on top of this theme thing for the tracks, and there's a bomb and it starts counting down. Now, I was like, okay, that's fine, you know, obviously that's the thing. And then when I switched back to American footage, it actually showed a pan shot coming down and the bomb wasn't there. And it's just one of those things where even if they could have put something there and quickly moved down, that would have saved time. But I noticed these little things and this really annoys me. Another thing was about the location, which is they had Robo Knight. Robo Knight was behind a train and in a train yard, which they normally have in Japan, which they normally show. And then all of a sudden, when he turned around, he was at the train station again. And you're like, well, and I'm sure New Zealand has a train system where you could just ask and say, look, can we go and shoot here? And then that's it. But no, it just seemed like they couldn't be bothered, and they could have cut that entire scene out, or they could have reshot it with him on his phone and talking to the Rangers. So it's not that hard to actually move that sort of stuff, and it just seems like they're slapping anything together and they're just hoping it will work. Now again, yeah, people are saying this is a kid show, but then you've got to make sure that these kids aren't thick, they aren't stupid, and you know that you're going to get one or two questions about it. And you know, if a kid loses faith or starts having to ask a lot of questions and not enjoy the show, then you've kind of just completely missed the point of everything in what you're trying to show. The third thing I noticed was the change of clothes in the Rangers. Now the Rangers, as normal, we've always seen wear pretty much the same outfit every single time, which is kind of a Power Ranger thing, which I can understand. I'm guessing it's a Sentai thing as well. But when, in one episode, they were in their training gear, and then they were training, and then suddenly they got a call from Goze. Goze had to turn around to the Ranger and say, go to this place. So they morph, they go, go Megaforce, transform, or it's morphing time, go Megaforce. They transform, and then they turn around and they fight the monster, and then when they demorph, they're in different clothes. Now, this is, frankly, someone that's not paying attention, like the wardrobe set or something, that are watching this and going, yeah, that's fine, we'll use that, no one's going to notice. But it's one thing that if a kid goes, hang on, Mum, Dad, why is the Red Ranger, why was he in a red t-shirt and then all of a sudden he was like in his leather jacket? It's these little things that need to be kind of addressed, that you need to turn around and talk to. And this is one thing that I think someone needs to be on set and say, they didn't wear that, we need to reshoot that scene in the gear they were. I mean, they did it in Mighty Morphing. I mean, you had them when they were in their, say, their sweats, their training gear, and then they morphed, and then they demorphed. They were in the same outfits. So why can't they just hire someone or know someone there and go, yeah, that's wrong, boys, that's wrong, you're in the wrong outfits. It's really, really bad. Acting is one of the things. Now, I'm not dissing the Rangers on their acting skills. I think it's more of the team that are turning around and saying, this is how you have to act. Now, when I've watched some of the episodes, I have just gone, do you know what, I like the acting, it's okay. But on some of the episodes where I think you had Emma, who was like, oh my god, everyone's got to be friends, hugs and everything. And that really annoyed me. It actually got me cringing, going, ooh. And then again with the Yellow Ranger, she turns around and like, to get her wish, she's like, thanks, blah, blah, can you turn that music down? Thanks. And you're like, why? Why? Could you just not turn around and say, hey, can you turn the music down? Thanks. Not in the way of saying like, you know, I'm the cutesy ranger. Some of the acting in the series, it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem believable. It doesn't seem believable of the actual rangers themselves or the characters, and you kind of, at this point in time, you're supposed to connect to the actors, to the characters. You're meant to be like, oh, I really like this person because he is like me, or he is like someone I know, and I can relate to that. It just seems that they're kind of still getting to know it, and I think the UK is up to like episode 11, 12, but when I've seen other episodes, I think like 17, 18, 19, there's still no connection between that one. I can't relate to them. I can't form a kind of bond and go, do you know what, I really like this character is amazing. I still think that they're kind of like dipping the toe in the water. Now I don't know if this is going to work for, I don't know if this is going to work for Super Megaforce, because at that point, yeah, we've gone through 20 episodes already, so we might start relying back to these characters and think, do you know what, yeah, I like them. But one thing that I've noticed with this is about the writing team. Now obviously when they got the go-ahead for Super Megaforce, I kind of thought they would bring in some characteristics of the Super Sentai team. So not majorly like say the Blue Ranger has to be just like Joe, but the fact is that if it was me, I would have got the Blue Ranger, I can't remember what his name is, I would have got him to learn about fencing or swordplay. I would have got him to do that at the very beginning, so that when it comes into this, it's more believable. Because when you look at the Gokaiger and you look at, say, Joe, and he is using his sword and he's using a lot of techniques, that is, how does the Blue Ranger, the American one, learn that ability? How does he do it? He's not going to go off in one episode and go, oh hey, I can't do it, because obviously they're going to use some of the bad guys. They may use the guy that had like 1,000 swords or something, and then Joe had to use a five-handed sword technique. So it's like, how do you do it? Because in one of the episodes where Jake turns around and gets his power axe or his battle axe, whatever he calls it, his snake axe or whatever, and he gives it to the Blue Ranger to adjust and be like, hey, this is how you do it. That to me was more, well, okay, you need to fix that. You can't lift that. You can't lift it because it's too heavy. So I would have swapped around the characters. I would have got, instead of the Black Ranger or Jake being the Black Ranger, I would have got him to be the Blue Ranger, and I would have got the Blue Ranger to be the Green Ranger, because, you know, the Green Ranger, Doc, was more of a, like, he was a scientist, he was smart, so that would make more sense. Character development is the next thing, and it's not a lot. As I explained in the other parts of this video, is literally the character development. Robo Knight is literally, he is learning at a slow rate. Now again, if this is 20 episodes, you're not going to be able to do it. You need to introduce Robo Knight very, very early on. I don't know what episode he came into, or maybe it was 5, but then you'd have to start teaching him all this sort of stuff to actually have a well-rounded character. Now I don't know what's going to happen to him in Super Megaforce, because you'll have the Silver Ranger coming in, and I hope that the Silver Ranger comes in very straight on, very early in, or the second episode or something, because then you have character development. Robo Knight is not going to turn into it, and I kind of hope, I just thought of this, is I'm going to call this Robo Knight learns about humanity and turns into a human. If they do that, I am going to be annoyed, because then you have the fanishness, and maybe he could transform into it. So as I've just thought of this, I hope not. Oh, and I hope that they dumb down Emma's character on the whole friendship thing, because I know friendship is amazing, friendship is the key to everything, but I kind of wish they'd dumb it down a bit, just because I don't want to have to learn about our friendships and just vomit rainbows everywhere. So as I say, nothing against the actors. I like the actors, I think they're great, and I know that they can do more. I think this is just Saban and Nickelodeon limiting what they can do. I like Jake. Jake's my favourite. He's my favourite one. Yeah, because he's kind of cool. So let me know about your thoughts, guys. You know, what do you think of Megaforce in general? Not because if it's bad. I want to know the reasons why you think it's bad. Do you think that I've covered enough in this video? Because it is a long one. Do you think that I've covered a lot in this video? Or do you think that I've missed a lot to point out? Leave your comments down below. Remember to like, favourite and subscribe. And I shall see you soon.